Hey guys, it's Bakington, back at it again. Today, we're going to be doing the very first Bakington response video. And today, we're going to be responding to a shocking chili soup recipe that Amberlynn Reid has made. Now, the video in question is her chili soup video, and I've seen a couple people react to it already. You see, I have tons of spices on hand, and I don't really know anything about Mrs. Dash or blend spices, so I did some research, a lot of Googling, a lot of writing too. God, there's so many things in Mrs. Dash. But I've compiled a list of everything. You see, I got myself a handy-dandy little notebook journal type thing. I have about 4 of these, one for every aspect of my life, one for streaming, one for school, one for song lyrics because I'm writing a mixtape. I'm not even joking about that one, I'm actually being serious. And another one for like household expenses and groceries, but I stopped using that one ever since I learned how to use Excel, so now I only have 3. I don't know why I mentioned the 4th one then. But this one I've used for streams and videos, and I listed out everything in Amberlynn Reid's chili. It's a lot. Specifically, all the spices involved. It takes up more than half the page and actually goes on to the next page of just every ingredient in the 4 blends of Mrs. Dash she was using. So here's the long and short of it. In a chili, normally you want to use things like cayenne pepper, chili powder, cumin, spices like that give it a warmth and heat, while also complementing the beans if you're using beans, or savory meats you're using, or if you're using any kind of other vegetable proteins, things like that. However, you don't want to use things that like confuse the flavors because you're going for a very specific warm, savory flavor profile. And the problem with a lot of these spices is that she's all over the place. And this is a recurring theme I've found with all of Amberlynn Reid's foods. But when she uses all these spices, she's going completely all over the place with flavor profiles, which I've found to be the big problem with all of her foods she makes, is that she just kind of throws things. Either Amberlynn puts nothing in it and just uses garlic and onion because she likes garlic and onion, not digging those things are important, but still. Or she goes completely the other route and puts everything in the kitchen sink in there. Like literally, if you threw in some garam masala, some mace, and some like ginger, you would have like every spice available in one pot. And the problem is that's gonna get confusing, it's gonna get messy, and you're not really gonna get a specific flavor or feeling from it. It's gonna be very there. And that's the problem with these Mrs. Dash and other spice blends, that they're pretty much a jack of all trades but a master of none. But when you put 4 jacks of all trades together, what you're gonna get is a really, really subpar thing. None of them are particularly good at what they do, so when you put 4 people that aren't particularly great at what they do together in one project, they're not gonna really do all that much. It's gonna be sort of meh. Whereas if you were to focus your spices, it'd be much more flavorful, much more satisfying. You're gonna eat less of it because you're gonna be satisfied with much less, and you lose weight. And I think that's like the biggest part of it. I'm not coming after Amberlynn because I think I'm better than her, or because I want to like prove that I'm better than her, or I want to like put her down, or like mock her cooking, or like something like that, or make fun of her because she's big. The problem with Amberlynn is that she is trying to lose weight. She's eating this food that isn't all that satisfying, so she's gonna eat more of it to get satisfied because you need a certain satisfaction threshold to not, want to keep eating the food. But if you're to focus your spices, put a little bit of effort into the idea of your food and not just kind of throw everything in the kitchen sink into it, you'll find that your food will taste a lot better and it's gonna be a lot more satisfying. So I think this is a win-win. Now, I'm not going to attempt to try to make Amberlynn's chili because honestly, it wasn't all that great. Also, side note, chili is a stew. It is not a soup, it's a stew. Don't let anyone tell you it's a soup, because it's not. You can make a chili soup, but what you looked like you were making wasn't a chili type soup. What it looked like is that you didn't really know what you were doing because you've said before that you're not really all that sure about cooking, and it shows. And you wanted to put everything in there that you think is chili-esque. Namely, you put a lot of tomato, and I mean, that's up to you if you like tomato, but tomato is sort of like an accent in chili, not the whole thing. So I'm gonna offer this as an alternative. This is a much simpler, much more cut down, much more focused version of a chili that I am gonna give to you as a nice base. You can add whatever you want to it, be it mushrooms or zucchini. I'm going to present you a focused chili. This chili recipe will have only a few spices, but a lot of it, and you can add pretty much whatever else you like to it. Because a lot of chili is just what you personally like. Maybe you like corn in your chili, that's weird, but you can do that. I'm not here to tell you that you have to cook like me. All I'm doing is offering you a much simpler alternative. So, let's get started. Here are all the spices you need for today's recipe. Now, here it goes in order of size. I've got 2 tablespoons of chili powder, 1.5 tablespoons of cumin powder, 1 teaspoon each of cayenne pepper and garlic powder. I've got half a teaspoon of onion powder and 1/4 teaspoon each of salt and pepper and oregano. Oh, and buried under the cayenne pepper is a big pinch of red pepper flakes. Here I'm browning 1 pound of very lean ground turkey in 1 teaspoon of oil. Now, if you're using fresh garlic and onions, you want to sweat the onions first, then add your garlic in for a minute, cook that, then add your meat in. You don't ever want to add your garlic and onions in any later than when you first start cooking. Otherwise, they won't caramelize, they'll just kind of boil, and that's not tasty. Once your meat has browned, add in all your spices, because you don't add your spices in levels, that's strange. Mix, and make a paste. Next I'm gonna add half a cup of tomato sauce. That's all. And mix. You can use diced tomatoes if you like. Personally, I'm not a fan of the chunks. Meat overboard. The idea is you want to build this sort of gravy almost, with lots of spices, tomato, and the meat itself, and give it lots and lots and lots of contact, because you want that spice to soak into the meat, which is also why we're going to boil this with some stock for at least 40 minutes to make sure that everything is fully flavored. Next, I'm going to add in a pound of beans that I've washed and drained. This is a combination of black and pinto. I just normally use black beans, but my mother came by to visit and she made me some pinto beans, so I thought I might as well use those too. Mix. Don't mash your beans though. Meat overboard. Next, I'm going to add in 1 cup of stock just to start. You want the liquid level to be just at the level of your meat and beans. So I'm going to add in about another half cup. Mix. Then I'm going to cover this partially, just leave a little gap, turn the heat down to medium, and I'm going to let this simmer for 40 minutes, topping up the liquid level every now and again if it gets too dry, but it should be thick. Chili is a stew. It's meant to be thick. And after 40 minutes with occasional stirring, and an extra half cup of liquid added, you've got a thick, rich chili. Now, I'm going to drag my spatula across and you'll see that it leaves a trail and you can see the bottom of the pan. That's how you know it's thick enough. You should be able to see the bottom of the pan. It shouldn't be liquid enough that you can't see the bottom of the pan when you drag the spatula across. There should also not be an extra half gallon of tomato juice and chicken stock added in. And I'm going to test for seasoning. Oh yes, that's very nice. Could do with just a smidge more salt. But I declare this chili 100% ready! And there we have it, my simplified chili recipe. Now, there are a few things I need to address before we finish up.
Bakington! I use mushrooms in my chili!
Okay, that's fine. If you want to use mushrooms, go right ahead. This is your chili after all. I said at the beginning, totally add whatever else you like into it. It's fine if you want to use mushrooms. I didn't say you couldn't use mushrooms. All I said was, it's not normal in chili.
Bakington, I'm from Cincinnati, and I put cinnamon in my chili!
What did I just say? Chili is highly localized. Certain places don't even put beans in their chili. I don't understand that part. The beans are the best part in my opinion. I'm not here to be a food Nazi. I'm just here to try and educate you on what kind of spices go in what. Especially considering that things like sweet basil, orange peel, things like that were in those Mrs. Dash seasonings. So she was putting a lot of extra stuff that she really didn't need in that chili. Seriously, basil and orange peel in your chili. That's avant-garde, and I guess that might be what she's going for, but at the same time, I don't want to give her that much credit.
Bakington, I don't put beans in my chili!
Beans or no beans, it's up to you. Cinnamon or no cinnamon, it's up to you. Mushrooms, zucchini, what have you, you can put that stuff in. Just be mindful about the spices you're using. All I'm trying to say. But yeah, that was fun. I'm gonna go eat my chili now. Personally, I like my chili served with a big pile of steamed brown rice. Carb up. The combination is making me salivate right now. So, I'm gonna go have dinner. It's almost at the end of my fasting period anyways. So, I'll see y'all later. Peace.